Hey everybody, I'm Katie, and today we're going to do some yoga poses for our hips. Now you're more than welcome to use blocks or you can practice without it. We'll get started in the first pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet are going to touch, knees will be out wide, and you're just going to lie down on your back. Have your spine and your neck nice and long. Now we're going to stay in each pose for at least 3 to 5 breaths, but I do encourage you to stay longer because I am just trying to condense 7 poses into one 10-minute video, which is a little bit fast. Now, if you do have your blocks handy, you can place them underneath your thighs like I have here, and just let the head, the neck, the shoulders, the whole body just relax. And another option with your hands, you can place your one hand on your heart and one hand on the belly. Just taking another breath here. Supta Baddha Konasana. And then we'll place the blocks to the side, hug the knees into the chest. We'll come into a Malasana or a yogi squat. Coming down, legs are wide, arms are in between the legs and the legs are pressing into the arms. A bit of resistance there, even pressing into your hands and trying to glue your thumb to your sternum. Most important part is that length up through the spine. So think of a broomstick from the crown of the head down to the tailbone. Now this is without the blocks, but I love a block in this pose because you still get into the hips, but you don't have all that pressure on the knees. So you can take one block, but that means you have to sit on the side of it. And if it's kind of a wobbly one, it might not be as sturdy. So what you can do is take 2 blocks and sit on them stacked. Same thing, much safer, much sturdier. Relaxing your shoulders. Again, pressing the elbows into the legs, legs into the elbows. Last big breath here. And then we're going to come into a low lunge, which has a few variations, again, with or without the blocks. We'll step the right foot back nice and long. Now, option 1 is to have that back knee down. And we'll actually stay here for a few breaths, taking the hands up on that left thigh. Now you can sink as low as you want to go into a lunge, but you don't want to just drop all the weight forward, and you don't want that front knee over that front ankle. So you want to still have the inner thighs engagement here. And then if you do want to use your blocks, you can place them underneath your hands. I like to put it on the tallest version and roll the shoulder blades down your back. There is that third option to lift up the back knee and really press out through that back heel and maybe sink a little bit lower. Low lunge. Now we'll come into a lizard pose, which will get much deeper into the thighs. Dropping down onto the knee, placing the blocks and your hands inside that left foot, heel toeing the left foot out, maybe past your mat in that little half V. Option 1 is to stay here. Option 2 is to come down into your forearms. And then option 3 is to lift the back knee. Now, if you do come to your forearms, make sure you come down to both of them. You don't want to be lopsided. And this is where the blocks might come in handy for you. You can place your hands on the blocks, or maybe even place your elbows down on the blocks. And now we'll come into a Skandasana. A Skandasana is quite a strong pose, so I'm going to give you another option. Since our left knee is bent, we're going to stay with that one bent and just spin the right leg nice and long. Now, option, your hands can stay down on the ground. They might be able to come up to your chest. And that foot might be able to stay down, or maybe it lifts up. That works. And some of you might be able to send those left fingertips down and reach that right arm up, or maybe drop it back behind you, or maybe just keep it up. And so I'll show you a goddess pose, and my head's going to get cut off. So goddess pose, you're going to squat down really deep, heels come in towards each other, roll the shoulder blades back, and just go go as low as you can go. So this is goddess pose. And then I'm going to come onto the other side, doing your Skandasana on the right side, at least 3 to 5 breaths. And then I'll come into that lunge on this side. So again, watch that front right knee stays on top of that front ankle. Back left leg is nice and long. And I'll do this side without the blocks. And I'll come into the lizard on this side, placing the hands inside the leg, heel to the foot out to the side, coming down. All right, and then we're going to come into a downward facing dog, walking that right foot back. And we're going to make our way into our pigeon pose, or half pigeon. Starting with the right leg, bending the right knee into the chest and just dropping it through, extending out long through that right leg. Now what you can do with a block or possibly a cushion or a blanket, you can place it underneath that right thigh, or sorry, underneath that right sit bone, so you can keep those hips a little bit more squared. I like to flex those right toes towards the right shin to activate the knee, keep that protected. And take a look back down at your left leg. You want it in one long straight line from the hip down to the toes. And then from here, you can either stay here or walk the hands forward, maybe use a block or a prop, and come down. Now this pose is traditionally held for at least 2 minutes, not to annoy you, but to really get the benefits of it. But we don't have time to stay here for 2 minutes. So we're just gonna take a few more breaths. And we're gonna make our way, definitely grounding into the hands, using the strength in your arms to lift your body up as well as your core. Let's come back into that downward facing dog so we can do that on the other side. Left toes tuck in, right foot meets the left. On the left side, knee forward, right leg extends long, block underneath the hip. And probably noticing, at least for me, a drastic difference from one side to the other. Taking your time and let your breath kind of roll you down. Try not to just drop all your weight forward into that front leg and hip. You want to take your time. Some of you might be able to come all the way down. Just use that breath in. Again, try to hold it for at least 2 minutes if you can. You can put a little timer on your phone. And then we'll come back into downward facing dog just to move through the hips. And then we'll end in a butterfly pose. Just like Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet will touch, knees will come out wide. You can even give your feet a little massage if you want. Or open up to the bookends like you're reading a book. And this again is where you can place the blocks underneath the thighs. Big breath in, long straight spine. And on your exhale, folding forward. Now if you can get your elbows down to your thighs, make sure you're not pressing onto your knees. You want to just gently guide the elbows into the legs, trying to avoid putting pressure on the kneecaps as much as possible. And you want to ground into your sit bones, really reach your heart forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Relaxing the shoulders, maybe even tucking in the chin. A few more breaths.